Every election year, Democrats seem to remember patriotism for about an hour at their convention when they're trying to win back swing voters. The whole message of Kamala's speech in 2024 was take back the flag. That's why she talked about America like a pageant contestant. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school?
Bill Maher just did something on America's 250th anniversary that no Democrat saw coming. He didn't whisper, he didn't soften it. He tore them apart line by line on national TV and didn't hold back for a single moment. But before we move further, if you enjoy short commentary videos with full breakdowns, take just 2 seconds to subscribe to the channel. And now, buckle up because this is where the real story begins.
And finally, new rule, the smartest thing Democrats did this year was finding their patriotism again. If you told me a year ago that if Kamala Harris would be the nominee and in her acceptance speech, she would use the word privilege, I would not have guessed that she used it the way she did.
The greatest privilege on earth. The privilege and pride of being an American.
Yeah, and Tim Walz also began his speech with a great line saying, we're all here tonight for one beautiful, simple reason. We love this country.
Notice what Maher just did. He didn't compliment the policy. He didn't compliment the platform. He gave his own party credit for one thing, finally pretending to like the country again. And that's the whole trap. To Maher, the only time Democrats remember America exists is when they need votes from it. The rest of the year, in his view, the party treats the flag like an embarrassing relative. The convention was the rehearsal, the applause was the audition, and the country at home was supposed to somehow forget the last 10 years of insults. Critics say it was already too late. Maher seems to agree. And then Maher says out loud the thing every Democratic strategist already knows in private.
Every election year, Democrats seem to remember patriotism for about an hour at their convention when they're trying to win back swing voters. The whole message of Kamala's speech in 2024 was take back the flag. That's why she talked about America like a pageant contestant.
The greatest privilege on earth. The privilege and pride of being an American.
Hard to believe she lost, huh? Well, you can't take back the flag in an hour if the rest of the time you treat patriotism as something vaguely embarrassing.
There it is, the diagnosis no one inside the party wants to hear. To Maher, you cannot hide your real feelings about America for 1,000 days, slap on a flag pin for one night, and expect anyone to believe you. The voters notice. They notice the eye rolls every other month. They notice the lectures about how the country was founded on something shameful. They notice the silence on every flag day and the volume on every protest. In Maher's view, that's exactly why Kamala lost. Not the policies, not the running mate. The brand was already broken before she stepped on stage.
I wore it every day, and nobody thought it meant that I loved Nixon. Because 50 years ago, liberals didn't concede patriotism. Abbie Hoffman was the quintessential 60s radical, and when he had to appear before the House Un-American Activities Committee, he wore an American flag shirt, which some cops later ripped off his back. Because the message that most threatens authoritarians isn't America sucks, it's America is ours too.
This is the history lesson the new left desperately needs. Decades ago, the most radical voices in America wrapped themselves in the flag. They didn't run from it. They claimed it. They argued the country belonged to them too, not just to the people in power. To Maher, that was the smartest move the left ever made. You don't beat the other side by handing them your country. You take it back. The modern left did the opposite. They handed over patriotism, the flag, the anthem, and the whole idea of national pride. And now they're standing on the sidelines wondering why working Americans don't trust them anymore.
If you run for office in America, you have to want to live here. I bring this up because there was a video that made the rounds recently by a woman who said she was a proud progressive and was running for state representative in New Hampshire, and yet posted this.
Is there a place we can move that people would be happy to have us, that we're not gentrifying or colonizing? I don't want to be a problem, but I need to get this country.
The this country. The one you want to be elected to a leadership position in? What was your campaign slogan? America, a shining shithole on a hill?
This is what Maher means when he says the party has lost the plot. A real person, on a real ballot, running for real office, openly telling everyone she wants out of the country she's trying to lead. To Maher, this is no longer an isolated case. This is the personality type the modern left keeps cranking out. People who hate the place, people who feel trapped in it, people who treat public office like a chore they're being forced to do. The audience laughed because every Democrat in that room recognized her. They have a dozen versions of her in their own social circle. And in Maher's view, that disconnect is exactly why the party can't reach anyone outside the bubble anymore. And then Maher says the line every honest American has been waiting to hear.
Again, I'm confused by this political message. Vote for me because I hate it here. Now, does America have big problems? Yes, I've often cited the America sucks list. Things like being 54th in the world in infant mortality behind Cuba, 19th in literacy behind Russia, 72nd in female representation in government behind Iraq. A lot of work to do here. And is it possible for a country to lose itself so much that leaving it is justified? Yes, but we're not there yet, not by a long shot, and we don't need quitters. We need people who will stay and fix it.
And there's the verdict. The country is not broken beyond repair, and the people who pretend it is are not heroes, they're quitters. To Maher, that single change in mindset would transform the Democratic Party overnight. Stop running from problems. Stop threatening to leave. Stop treating escape like a political strategy. In his view, the real patriots of the next generation are not the people writing essays about how unbearable America is. They're the ones rolling up their sleeves to fix it, and the polling agrees with him. According to Gallup in 2025, only 36% of Democrats said they were extremely or very proud to be American, down from 62% the year before. A 6-point collapse in 12 months. Republicans, 92%. The patriotism gap is now wider than at any point Gallup has ever measured.
Maybe the problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. 59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing. I don't get it. You want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country and experience the good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave?
That number alone should end the conversation. The majority of self-described liberals in America have at some point thought about packing up and leaving the country they claim to be fighting for. To Maher, this is not a small contradiction. This is the whole contradiction. You cannot beg the world to come to America while begging your own family to help you leave. In his view, that's not a political movement. That's a midlife crisis with a microphone, and the voters can see it. They can hear it. They can feel it in every conversation.
Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual, because you have no perspective.
And there's the heart of the rot. The generation that benefits the most from American freedom is the generation most ashamed of it. A Harvard youth poll backed Maher up. 54% of young Democrats said straight out that they were embarrassed to be American. To Maher, these aren't oppressed people. These are kids living on top of every comfort the modern world has ever invented. They post their complaints on phones America built. They drink coffee delivered by apps America built. They argue about identity on platforms America built. In his view, this isn't political consciousness. This is privilege having a tantrum.
So I'm not down with this attitude of, well, we're having a party, but if Trump's going, I'm not. That's so high school it should be in the Epstein files. Go to the party. It's a big celebration. You probably won't run into him.
This is the kind of behavior Maher cannot stop laughing at. Grown adults, with careers and college degrees, refusing to celebrate their own country's birthday because they don't like one guy at the cookout. In his view, this is exactly the high school energy that has poisoned the modern left. Everything is about who's in the room. Nothing is about what the room represents. To Maher, real adults show up. Real adults celebrate the country regardless of who's holding the microphone that month. They understand that the nation is bigger than any one politician. And the new liberal class, in his view, has somehow forgotten all of that.
If, for your exile, you do wind up in some comparatively luxurious place like Canada or Japan or the UK, not that they want you. At best, you'll be trading a bunch of stuff you hate about this country for a bunch of stuff you'll soon hate about your new home. It took me only 4 days in Amsterdam to learn that while I admire Amsterdam, I don't want to live there. The buildings are cramped and shaped like needles. The food is awful. The TV's in a different language. It's wet and cold. The people are polite but cold.
This is the moment the fantasy dies. In Maher's view, the modern liberal dreams about Europe the same way a teenager dreams about running away from home. They've never lived there. They've never paid the taxes there. They've never tried to raise a family inside one of those tiny apartments with no heat in winter. They've only seen the postcard version. The reality, to Maher, is much colder. Both the weather and the people, and the freedom they think they hate disappears the moment they cross the border. In his view, the people who fantasize about leaving America have no idea how good they actually have it here.
So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the shit you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to bitch about America, that's all American stuff.
And that is the part the modern left refuses to admit. Every freedom they enjoy, every protest sign they wave, every joke they post, every podcast they record only exists because of the country they keep insulting. To Maher, the places they romanticize on social media would lock them up in a week for the same content they upload here every day. There are no women's rights marches in Afghanistan. There are no progressive comedy shows in North Korea. The freedoms they take for granted are uniquely American freedoms.
If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed.
And that isn't a joke anymore. In Maher's view, the path the modern left is on doesn't end in a comeback. It ends in extinction, because the country isn't moving toward the message. The message is moving away from the country. And every election cycle, the gap gets wider. To Maher, the party doesn't have a marketing problem. It has a values problem.
You're still building your politics around slicing and dicing people into these fixed categories. Democrats need to get the memo that you can't win elections anymore by automatically assuming you're going to get every voter who's not these guys. The more you obsess over identity, the more you ignore the bread and butter issues that win and lose elections. The real issue is class, not race, and the real gap is the diploma divide, and the real future of the party and maybe democracy depends on Democrats figuring that out.
This might be the sharpest line Maher has ever said about his own side. To him, the modern Democratic Party stopped seeing people and started seeing categories. Boxes to be checked, tribes to be counted, demographics to be courted. Critics say this approach insults every voter it tries to win. And to Maher, that's exactly why it keeps losing. Real people don't think like a spreadsheet. They think about their kids, their bills, their safety, their future. And the party that treats them like an identity tag instead of a human being is the party they walk away from.
And now one idea that's getting a lot of attention is the Dems need to find their Joe Rogan, a liberal Joe Rogan, because that's why Kamala lost. Republicans have a podcast. Okay, maybe. Or you could consider this. Instead of conjuring up a new Joe Rogan, ask yourself why you lost the old one. Because he used to be on your side. He smokes pot on the air. I don't think he's that much of a far-right ideologue. I don't think his mind is completely inflexible. His neck, yes. But not his mind. And he's expressed unease with some things Trump is doing, as has a certain disgruntled former employee named Elon Musk, who, like Joe, is another guy who 5 years ago was thought of as a liberal, but got driven into the other camp by bad attitudes and bad ideas. A reversal I completely understand, although I would never emulate. I also see the woke mind virus. I just don't jump from frying pans into fires.
This is the loss that should have changed everything. The biggest podcast voice in America was once on their side. So was the richest man in the world. So were millions of regular working men across the middle of the country. To Maher, the Democrats didn't lose them on policy, they lost them on attitude. They started lecturing instead of listening. They started shaming instead of welcoming. They told an entire generation of men that their interests, their hobbies, their humor, and their way of life were the problem. So those men walked. And in Maher's view, the party has never even bothered to ask itself why.
But you have to ask, why do millions of people every year risk their lives to come here? Because they want what we got. The founders were flawed, but they did build a place the whole world wants to break into. No one is paying a coyote to smuggle them into India or Russia. Immigrants don't see us as the problem. They see us as the solution. And there's a reason they themselves to get here.
People are not risking everything to enter Russia. They are not crossing oceans to reach Iran. They are not climbing fences to get into China. They are coming here, by the millions. As of fiscal year 2024, over 34.7 million people had pending applications to legally enter the United States. To Maher, the contradiction is impossible to ignore. The same country American liberals call broken is the same country the rest of the world is desperate to reach. Either the entire planet is wrong about America, or his own party is. He knows which one it is. And in his view, until Democrats figure out that the people they're insulting are the same people they used to represent, they will keep losing election after election. Now I want to hear from you. So tell me, is the modern left even capable of real patriotism anymore? And how long can a political party survive when most of its own voters are embarrassed by the country they're trying to lead? Drop your answer in the comments. Smash that like if Maher said what needed to be said, and subscribe, because there's a lot more coming, and you don't want to miss what's next.